Yo, what's up guys? Jimmy here. It's been a while. I got a haircut. I'm here to introduce a pretty cool game to y'all. This is called High Spell. If you ever asked, what do you get when you cross like a RuneScape Classic inspired clone with a modernized quality of life enhanced RuneScape 2 old school experience, and then mix in some of the magic of games like Genfinod that tried to do something unique, I think you end up with a game like High Spell. Introducing perhaps one of the coolest games I've played in quite a while. We stumbled upon this game thanks to our loyal viewer and friend Spexa, who said, "Hey Jimmy, someone in your chat around the time Genfinod was closing had suggested this really cool game that we never actually ended up playing." And it turns out there were 0 people online when we tried to log in. So what do? We actually think, oh, well, let's go give this game a shot and see how the game actually plays, because we actually enjoy playing good games, and it doesn't really matter how many people are playing the game. We believe that good games will eventually attract players. So one thing that I found really interesting is that this game has been publishing since 2020. So they have a very long history. They went into beta back then, but turns out it's a solo developer who's been working on this game since our beloved RuneScape Classic was shut down, which was almost 7 years ago. So this has been like his solo side project. He wasn't necessarily working on this like full time. It seems that he wanted to work on this as a passion project. So every few months you'd see like a pretty major update. And it turns out just 3 months ago now, there was a very major update that added a bunch of content to the game, and nobody has really actually been able to see it yet. And we kind of got the luxury of, hey, let's go give this game a shot and see what it's all about. So I found out that the name Jimmy was available, so we went ahead and jumped in with that. But yeah, this is my character. We've actually been spending about 10 days so far. One crazy thing is that like this guy have built this game, like he's built a lot of really cool systems that I want to try and give like a proper shout out to. There's 16 different skills in the game. Each of these 16 skills kind of mirrors RuneScape in a similar, familiar way, but at the same time, it's not necessarily just like one-to-oneing every single little mechanic. For example, there's no prayer skill. The farming skill, which is called harvesting, is actually for more like open world harvesting, similar to how Genfinod was actually able to capture the farming concept. But then there's also like herbs that you can farm that grow in the open world that can be harvested as well. There's currently only one server. Maybe that'll change by the time you see this video. Who actually knows what this game's capable of doing right now? There's 50 people on it, which is about 50 times more players than there were about 2 weeks back. So it has some of your traditional loops, but you can see it has like these skill UIs. So if I'm out here fishing on a dock, right, and I want to check out this spot here, you can see that every skill has kind of like itemized, okay, well, how much does certain food heal? Let's click on the HP skill, and you can see, okay, all drinks heal here, and here's all your foods that heal. Well, what about what level I can fish? So fishing, for example, you can actually go to a fishing spot, and everything is extremely AFK friendly. It looks like we just filled up on tuna here, but you just click the node and it's gonna work. If you want to click the run button, your character starts running. There's no energy right now, so you can run as long as you want. You just have to remember to turn it on. It turns out attack styles, you can choose to maybe you just want to level your defense. Maybe you want to be a defense pure. Maybe you only want to level attack and strength. This game, you can actually choose the exact styles you want, and you can pair them together, and it will auto balance how you actually get your XP. Now, things that we think could be improved, like, yeah, there's a few bugs here and there. It would be nice to see some sort of client, like a Rune Light, or what became Gen Light for Genfinod, or maybe there's something called Highlight eventually. I've seen lots of community interest in something like having a client for this game that gave maybe perhaps a bit more of an interface. Now, the actual progression in this game is really remarkable. So the accuracy stat, which mirrors attack, lets you wield equipment. You can see bronze, iron, steel, palladium. So steel is at 20, iron is at 10. Palladium, which kind of looks like myth, is at 30. Then you have coronium, which is the gear that my main is currently wearing. We're about to get our first Celadon piece, because you can actually boost your levels to wear equipment, which I think is a cool concept. It lets you kind of get in a little bit early if you figure out how to boost that skill. But there's like really awesome chase items in this game. Like I'm coming from Brighter Shores, right? And Brighter Shores, which I still log into every now and then, but we're kind of putting a little bit on the back burner just because there's not really enough to do in the game that I'm currently enjoying. Brighter Shores did not have chase items. And what this game has, for example, is the Championscape, something that is a 1 in 1,000 drop rate from a tier 3 clue, which is basically just a treasure map with one step that is a rare drop from I think level 70 or 80 or higher monsters right now. And it's a 1 in 1,000, so you have to run a ton of these clues. But each of those clues is really rewarding because it has a minimum amount of base materials that you can get, and it keeps you really pushing. Let's go run more clues. Let's go do more of this content. So I've just been having an absolute blast with some of these people because guess what? This game has a 15-minute AFK timer. It's extremely alt friendly. Like you can have a guy training combat and you can have a fisherman who's out there getting tuna, and then you could, feed that material back into your main and you could cook it on your main. It has mining, it has smithing, we have harvesting, which is basically the farming skill as we said earlier. There is forestry, so you can cut logs, but the cool thing is you can use a chisel on those logs. So the crafting skill functions as crafting as we know it from RuneScape, but also fletching. And then also mixing it like this whole element of rune crafting, which is partially given the enchanting role here. So if you cut like a regular tree, you can make a scroll. If you cut a pine tree, you can make a pine scroll. Sometimes you'll even get a lucky log, which can be used to make certain types of advanced scrolls. These scrolls can then be enchanted at an obelisk in the open world, but scrolls don't stack, but the actual enchanted scrolls, so for example, like a fire rune, or in this game, a fire scroll, is going to stack in one inventory spot. So it has different mirrored elements. There's a crime skill. There's a lot of different things that are pretty cool here. So let's take a look at the new player experience and show you guys just what this game is all about. Oh my god. All right, hop, skip, and a jump. Please confirm your password. All right, it's even got password protection. All right, so it's a browser-based game. We can play it. You can see there's 46 people on right now. My main and my fisher, they're still going to town. We can literally just go straight in, and before you know it, we'll be online. So in the game of High Spell, you start out at a character in a town called Middlefern. So to give a little bit of perspective for the people seeing this for the first time, Middlefern is down here. It's got a bank, it's got a shop, it's got a fishing rod and a stove. It's got fishing ponds. There's 2 level 1 fishing spots here. It's got some respawns. There's a really cool loop we'll introduce. I'll just show it on stream because I know some people will be seeing this and like, how do I make money? I don't know what to do. And hopefully this video will help you answer that question. So let's just go ahead with the default. We're at a bed. There's a meme here to sleep in a bed. There's no fatigue, guys. You don't have to worry about that. If you are coming from RuneScape Classic, don't feel like this is a problem for you. So what you can do here, right off the bat, we showed it earlier, you can click the run icon. That's going to let you run. But hey, wait, there's still a roof on this thing. Let's see if we can fix that problem. So you can disable roofs by enabling that, and you can disable fog to get a little bit clearer of a game world. I also just, if you want, you can increase your draw distance. It makes the game look better. The other things I would say, the mouse movement is a little bit strange. So if you're using middle mouse button, it doesn't work well on top of interfaces yet. They'll probably fix it, but right now it's pretty rough. There are a bunch of chickens here you can train on. Very common chicken pen. But I'd like to show you what we call Specs' loop. What I think makes the most sense is we're going to run through this entire area, and I'm going to show you all of the things that you can do in this starter zone. I'll make sure that my main is still running, that my fisher is still fishing, but that our new character here is able to show the whole process. So we could start a timer. It doesn't really matter, but from this top corner, you can see what we're doing. We're going to start at this area here. Again, the bank's kind of in the center. There's a windmill over here. There's a bunch of spawns. When you die, you go to this courtyard called Angleham Castle. It's not a huge deal, but we're going to basically run around and pick up all the free stuff. We'll show the kind of cool grind spots along the way, but we're going to keep grabbing all these free items that just spawn everywhere. And we'll show you what loop that we were doing early on, grabbing some of these items when nobody was playing the game. And that kind of gives you an idea of what the original gameplay can look like. So we start off with the harvesting skill. A pair of bronze gloves spawns in this little circular building here. And you can notice that if we try to harvest these potatoes, you need to equip a pair of gloves. All harvesting just requires a pair of gloves. It's very simple. There are aggressive and non-aggressive monsters in the world. For example, we walk up to this rooster, he's probably going to start slapping us. And unlike RuneScape, the chickens actually slap here if you're fighting the level 4 variant. So make sure these roosters, you have maybe level 5s across the board with full bronze. The farmer's not so bad, but they're not aggressive, so you don't have to worry. The potatoes do heal 2 HP if you cook them, 1 HP if you don't. This is a river fishing spot. If you look a little bit further north on our map there, you can see that there's a pond just beyond this area where we're at, and there's another pond over here. Those are your level 1 spots. There is a water scroll that respawns right here. You can pick it up. Every single item on this loop will respawn every 4 minutes. These 2 level 12 goblins are aggressive. I recommend this spot if you're maybe close to level 20. If you have steel on, you're definitely good to go, but you could probably do it with iron, especially if you have some food. These knights are really awesome to train on for magic. If you want to safe spot them, you could train on them regularly, but they have high defense stats, so magic works pretty well. The man here is a great example of a pickpocket target. And it's also happening to be right next to the death spawn. So if you were to fight this man and perhaps, you know, succumb to his attacks, oh, let's see how this goes. You know, we kind of look alike actually. He's got different pants than me, but yeah. If we fight him all the way through, he's probably going to beat us because he's level 5. But, you know, it turns out we really don't have that much to lose. In fact, we can just drop all of our stuff right here and like we're definitely good. But wait, it gave us a bronze sword for free and it gave us a bronze helmet for free. So like, why are we not using all this stuff? I guess I'm just really trying to show you how the teleport works in the game. So what if and when we die, you can see we just regenerate HP. So, but a lot of the mechanics in this game do mirror things that are familiar to RuneScape. So it does have like a global regeneration. So mobs actually will regenerate at the same time as players. I figure like what's a RuneScape inspired MMO without a good, you know, death warp? You'll find yourself on this massive map. You know, maybe you're a noob and you need to get over to Hedge Castle. Oh wow, look, we died. What are the chances? You'll find yourself wanting to travel across the map. You can see that there are some bugs here and there. For example, what just happened to those gloves that we had earlier? Did we take them off? I guess we did. But sometimes I'm noticing that like I don't always keep 3 items, so I would recommend if you're finding this like right after we publish it, there's a chance they haven't fixed that bug yet. But I will say you can pickpocket these guys at level 1 crime. It's probably the best way to train. You can get leather gloves and a bandit mask for a +1 crime boost. It's more of like a hidden boost, but it's going to help you have like a higher success rate, which will get you more XP. We're just going to sneak over and make sure we reset our main here. It is an every 15-minute type of deal, but I want to make sure those characters are getting XP. There's a double rooster over here. There's actually someone training there. You can buy a bow, a staff, you can buy arrows. All the equipment's here really cheap. I can show you like those items that I picked up, like that bronze gloves. It vendors for 30 gold, so you can use that directly if you want. There's a man called Plays. We'll say hello, Plays. Plays has been a longtime friend playing World of Warcraft, just absolutely gaming. He's actually killing these chickens. He's got iron gear on. He's slaughtering them. What he can do is kill those chickens and then just pick up all that raw chicken meat, stack the feathers. Everyone knows this loop. And you bring it over to this stove over here. There's cows in this area. Cows are much easier than the roosters. I'm not sure why. But they have seemingly a much lower accuracy, so you probably can beat them at like level 3 or so. There's these guys called Nice. I don't know exactly why, but they're like little gnomes. And they have like 0 defense, so they're actually really good to train on as well. Like if we throw on the gear here, I'm pretty sure we could slap this thing down. Like they're pretty easy to kill. We don't actually have gear yet, but you can see the animations are familiar. They're comfortable. Maybe we're still gonna die. I don't really know. It turns out I'm not that strong yet. We still have level 1 stats, and maybe we don't make it through. But some people have been farming these because they give access to the rare drop table. And the rare drop table in this game is really wild. It has like this huge range of things, all the way up to Celadon ore or Caladium ore, which is the tier 70 ore. It dropped us some coins, so that's pretty cool. There's a cool training spot here. So just FYI, we are kind of, we went down. So here's the courtyard. We just walked down these stairs and we're over at this training pen here. There is a potato that spawns in the corner of this building over here, but nobody's training at this spot right now, which is surprising. This is a really nice training spot because it has an aggressive rooster and you can kind of kill the chickens, the little level 2 chickens in between, and then you can cook all of that chicken meat and then use that chicken meat on that range, which is like right across there. So ranges are called stoves, obviously the same word. So make sure you take advantage of these spots if they are available. Generally, we would grab this pickaxe. That's kind of like the 3rd item on the loop. So you start with the gloves. You get that first pickaxe over near the man. Then you get the second pickaxe right here. You can grab a hatchet right here. And notice that we're like just west of the bank. You always look for those gold pillars to find where the bank's at. But in Middle Fern, you can just look for the giant windmill. It's just the building to the east of the windmill. But this is one of my favorites as well. You have like these 3 meat spawns. So it's got 2 raw beef and a raw chicken. The raw beef you can't cook to level 5, and the raw chicken you burn like every time. Let's see. Yeah, we burned it. Okay, so you can cook chicken at level 1, but it's got a really punishing curve. So this game's like not for like the faint of heart. It's definitely designed for like the grinders who like really like fighting through like those really steep curves of like, yeah, you're gonna fail like 90% of the time, but then like if you do it like 1,000 times, you might fail like 70%. But no, it's really not that bad. You're looking at like, by the time you hit like level 12, you'll stop burning those chickens entirely. I'm completely exaggerating. Like it probably only takes you about like 60, maybe 40 chicken to like not burn at all. There is another hatchet back here. This guy Gallagher sells some weapons. The player economy in here is really cool. Make sure you type /G to type in global. Say, Hey guys, I'm filming a video for YouTube. Say something funny. There we go. There we go. We'll see if we get some responses or we have to like, skip ahead in the video. Anyway, it's just one of those things that like, maybe nobody will respond. JK. Kababa, Kabaji. Oh, yeah, there we go. So anyway, we keep running here, and it turns out that you get to this quarry. The quarry is really cool because it has fire scrolls, and the fire scrolls can be used for, this is magic, obviously, but you can pick these up every 4 minutes, and technically those are worth, 25, even like 30 each. Sometimes people pay a premium. There's an aggressive sewer rat inside of the cave. But again, our third pickaxe now, these are 30 gold each. You can of course mine. This guy has got like your copper and tin. There's anvils far and wide, as well as forges. They're kind of all over the map. There are a bunch of like different crafting materials as well that you can acquire. So basically, people like they'll get into woodcutting and fishing quite a lot because those skills are really AFKable. And then once you actually put all these things together, you might supply your main with like a bunch of things. Right now, there's like no huge rule on alts, but it seems to be pretty clear. So I mentioned earlier, you can find these herbs in the open world. I just saw that we have an aruba root right here. So if you harvest this a few times, it'll kind of despawn, but they usually respawn in like a similar area. And you can see there's another one over here, but this is the level 1 pond fishing. Then this would be like your level 5 river fishing. And eventually, like, you'll see that, like, it's really cool how they do fishing because, for an example, you'll see that, level 1 fishers might be at beach, they might be at a lake, but then, like, you could find someone with a great rod or a master rod even that's catching frogs, at level 50, or there's a level 65 sea turtle from river fishing. Sea turtle? I don't know if those are different yet. But anyway, they're catching turtles in the river. So that's pretty interesting. And that's the loop, guys. Like, we just come around here. You notice that I grabbed those leather gloves. This is that crime item. You actually need 10 strength to wield it. But make sure you grab your fishing rod. It does respawn in that building right there. And most notable, guys, is that general store. The game is very friendly towards... look at this. People selling their fish. Interesting. If you need fish, just buy them from the general store. But in the basement of the general store also has a pretty cool thing here. You can come down in this little basement, and it turns out there's a couple level 1 rats. And there is a bronze helmet respawn right here as well. So a lot of little things that you can get. This chest you can pickpocket at level 10 crime. So I would recommend, like, this is a cool training spot if you, like, don't see anything that's available. They're not aggressive, but, like, if you're just training actively, they have low defense, and you can level up pretty quick. So I'd recommend checking some of this stuff out. And again, like, I just vendor all my stuff. Like, this general store basically buys everything. So if you just need some quick cash, and then, like, this is enough to go buy, like, a bronze scimitar. I could buy bronze legs. So, like, just to the east of where I'm at is the town of Celadon. Celadon has pretty much everything that you could need here. So yeah, I guess like the real way to look at this. So Celadon's over here. It has like a bunch of shops. You got your magic shop. You got your legs shop. So this gets plate legs. You have archery. This is the tavern. So there's a bar over here with bandits in it. There's another one down here. This is where you buy the rum for the Dragon Smoke Island quest. Link's Chains has chainmail up to steel. And then you have a quality armory. So this Arthur, you can buy pretty much all of your initial armor sets at Arthur's. So it's just a short walk. Like we're just at the quarry, right, with the fire scroll. You just go east from there and you're going to get to Celadon. So getting to that town is not hard at all. The Barbarian, I guess you call it the outpost. But this is cool. It has a chicken that spawns. They're kind of spread out. But by the time you do have steel, it's nice to grind out the Barbarian helmet, which is a strength and accuracy helmet. I sometimes will wear it on my main. I think every now and then. I have technically like a strength bonus outfit, but it doesn't look as good. So this is kind of like our strength build, but you can see we have like a plus 44 strength, and then we put on all this stuff and it kind of takes our gear down to, looks like about 38. So 6 points, but I don't really need the defense right now when we're kind of farming XP on some of these guys. But yeah, that's kind of the idea there. The map does have like some cool cities around. The way that the armor tiers work is that if you look at your defense, there's iron, there's silver, there's Barbarian, then you have the official tiers are iron, steel, and then palladium, then coronium. So coronium's that black gear. Then you have Celadon, which is tier 70. There's a bunch of really cool items in this game. Like these are all crazy chase items. I think 3 or 2 people in the entire game have a helmet of melee, but it has a massive strength bonus on it and some defense. It's kind of like the D-med of high spell. But what's even crazier is that there is gear that is at tier 80 that's not even shown here called legendary equipment, and like literally there's only a couple in the entire game right now. So there's a boss called Demogui, which we're going to be fighting on Sunday this week, and it's level 250, and it has like a 1 in 500 chance or 1 in 1,000 chance. It's extremely small of dropping like a legendary battle axe or a legendary shield, and like a tier 70 magic staff. Because magic in this game is quite extensive. There's different gear that you can wear in magic. It's a pretty big mistake to assume that like there's not like a lot of depth and complexity to all of these skills, because this guy's been working on them for years. So I have a lot of respect for this game that's been put together. The high scores are absolutely crazy. This player named Yu is the rank one, and he has rank one in like freaking like 8 or 9 skills. It's absolutely crazy. Every single skill he has is single digit. His worst rank is rank 7. And like it turns out that like the people who have pushed these skills, like most of them aren't playing anymore. So yeah, we have buddies that are like already getting on the high scores within a week of playing, because this feels like a new MMO. Like it's April 30th. We're just closing out the month of April. We're gonna go into May, and like High Spell has already like seen more players than it's ever had in any period ever. And I'm quite happy to say like, yeah, Rabbi like literally just made his character, I think 5 or 6 days back, and he's ranked 7 on the Magic table already. I'm pushing like accuracy right now. I'm trying to get to Celadon so we can boost it at 63, but I'm ranked 20 for attack already. And like, yeah, this game, it hasn't really been in the spotlight. There's never been any marketing. And I think it's just super cool to support games like this that have like a passionate developer that's just building an awesome game. And like, I'm not making anything from this video. Like, I have nothing to gain in terms of like sponsorships or like a player base. Like, I just thought that like, I've explained like maybe 30 different times how like this original loop works. These specs that help build this loop, it makes 3K an hour. You get 195 GP vendoring one loop of materials. And like that loop actually helps people get an idea of like, okay, here's how some of the base game loops work. This is where you mine your first ores, or this is where you want to start fishing. Like these things are very easy to explain, but I've been doing it so many times. Like I just need to make a YouTube video about this. So yeah, guys, that's the general introduction to High Spell. You guys want to check this game out? It is in the browser. It is quite well supported. Make sure if you are on a PC, you select force desktop mode if you have like a small screen size. Sometimes it might try and make you do like a one mouse button by default because it thinks you're on mobile. But other than that, like just try a different browser if you have any issues. I'm going to be streaming this game over on my Twitch. We're still playing old school. We're still tapping into Brighter Shores, but I had to give this game a video. It just deserves it. And shout out to Do, the amazing dev behind all this. And of course, you and Devil Hacker, these players who have been absolutely just legends to the community that kind of overwhelmed and frankly swarmed this beloved small game that they had been playing faithfully. So yeah, there's really cool opportunities in a game like this. And I was so surprised to see there was basically no YouTube content. We found maybe one person who had like, some no voice videos, but just going through some of their gameplay. It's really cool to see that this game has come so far, even since those videos were filmed in the years prior. And perhaps this game might get a second win just because of all the really cool people playing it. So thanks for your time. If you guys made it this far, feel free to like explain why you like this game or what you find really unique that you have maybe missed in MMOs. Because I don't think MMOs are dead. I just think good MMOs might be kind of rare right now. So I have to try and shout out the ones that I feel really good about. So having an absolute blast. Maybe it'll only last a few months. Maybe it'll last longer. I don't actually know. But again, thank you all, and have a great day. Have a great weekend. Let's get it.